March 7th, boxing returns to primetime on broadcast television with the premier boxing champions on NBC.
My career starts right here. This is the beginning. All that has happened up until now was a warm-up in preparation for the future. March 7th is my night.
Get those hands moving. Punch count's going to be huge in this fight.
You got to keep Thurman and Guerrero are just going to bring it on both sides.
Once you can hit that, you can hit anything, baby.
Yeah, myself and Adrien Broner.
Remember, he's going to fight with his head down. There you go.
Two different sides of the spectrum when it comes to styles. It couldn't be any more different.
I don't worry too much about what the other guy's doing. And my job is to take care of myself.
That's going to only be a combustion of nothing but action.
It's just incredible. It's what boxing needs. To bring boxing back as a household sport. We got to do a lot of this stuff. Once he feels power, Thurman's going to be moving around. For us to be the ones bringing it back.
We're going to talk. Give us,
I'm so happy. I love it.
This is groundbreaking.
That's all I got to say.
When I heard that AB was going to be on NBC, I automatically changed my name to Mr. NBC.
You know why they call him Mr. NBC? Huh? Because there's nothing Broner can't do.
All I thought about was billions. I can really make $1 billion in boxing with NBC.
Tweet this out. His ass first.
As a fan, I'm super stoked, but then again, I am preparing for war come March 7th.
You got it, you got it.
Soon, the opening bell for round 1 will ring. That is when all the training, all the support, and all the little choices come down to one moment of truth.
I'm not that type of ritual guy, like, before the fight, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You know, I just let the day come and then I just handle my business.
The reality is my family's in my head. I got a mortgage to pay.
I know it's going to be this long.
I want to go to college.
I can't just cut it off now.
Tomorrow, I want everybody to know that I did what I can do as a provider.
From right out the locker room, you're focused, zoned out. All eyes are on Thurman. Can't wait to get there. Can't wait for that bell to ring. Get in there, land that first shot. Feel that first shot from him.
My final thoughts going into the ring. This is what you've been training for. And this is how you make your dreams come true. And then I hear the voice of Ben Getty. It's time to go to work, boy.
Before I talk about the fighters, let's talk about the show. It's called Premier Boxing Champions Corner to Corner. Corner to Corner is, let's just put it this way. To equate it to something, we're going to say HBO 24/7. We're going to say Showtime All Access. But it is not that. It has a network television feel. Also, along with the network television feel, it has a certain amount of prestige, glamour. It's really high budget. Now, I'm not saying that Showtime All Access or HBO 24/7 is not high budget, but this right here, it was beautiful, but yet it's not gritty. What you saw was, you have to bear with me, I'm under the weather, but what you saw HBO 24/7 or Showtime All Access as if it's the initial episode. So, for example, you know how you see somebody like a Marcos Maidana or Robert Guerrero or Adrien Broner on a Showtime All Access, and you know how that first initial episode focuses on the fighters' lives, who their families are, where they're from, where they train, things like that. Well, this is exactly what that was, except it was an hour long, focusing on 4 fighters at the same time, also showcasing Premier Boxing Champions as a whole. So let me back up a little bit. Well, actually, let me back up a lot further and tell you what Premier Boxing Champions is. Premier Boxing Champions is a series of boxing matches. Just look at it like this. Just simplify it. It's going to be boxing on regular television. It's going to be boxing on NBC. It's going to be boxing on NBC Sports. It's going to be boxing on CBS Sports. It's going to be boxing on Showtime. It's going to be boxing on ESPN2, maybe soon. That's what we're hearing. It's going to be boxing on Spike TV. There may even be PBC on BET. Now, who is this all run by? Thank you, Haymon. Thank you so much. You know, I'm not even going to lie, man. Like, when I look at my plate, like I have my chicken, And I was just thinking to myself, like, thank you, Haymon. Because from like starting on March the 7th, when Robert Guerrero is going to take on Keith Thurman in a very, 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 very big fight. A big fight that it's like, you know, it's bone chilling. Ooh. Then you got Adrien Broner versus John Molina, you know, and these are the two televised national television events. March the 7th is going to be like 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, something like that, on regular NBC. You know what that's going to do for the fighters? That's crazy. The only thing I want from the sport of boxing right now is for those overseas fighters, those overseas fights to be seen over here in that fashion. And I know right now I'm actually starting to believe, even though, you know, you watch my videos, you know, and I think that's the majority of the media, you know, up and down our Haymon relationship situation. To whereas, you know, sometimes I like the guy, you know, sometimes I don't like the guy. To whereas, and now it's like this. If there was a scale, you know, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm more thank you, Haymon, than anything. I'm way up here with the thank you, Haymon. So we're going to just leave that at that. But we have a stable of, you can say, around 200 or so fighters, world champions, #1 contenders, prospects, up-and-coming guys, light heavyweights, you know, middleweights, cruiserweights, bantamweights, featherweights. And they're all names that you should know or you have heard of before. So what you're going to be getting is you're going to be getting Showtime or HBO caliber fights on regular television. Also, you will be able to watch on your phone. I tested it out. So what I was able to do was I was able to download the NBC Live app and actually watch PBC Corner to Corner, you know, the documentary on my phone. So therefore, if there's fights on NBC, you'll be able to watch on your phone, whether you're at work or anywhere. That means a lot. That means a lot. I may even do a whole video on just that topic alone. So looking at the grand scale of this, you know, that this season right now, it's a little bit before 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, November the 26th, February the 26th, 2015. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I'm a video reporter for RealCombatMedia.com and owner of T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Live. So what I do is I cover every single major fight live. Me and my partner, Be Real TV, over in the UK, and then RealCombatMedia.com, which covers boxing, mixed martial arts, and jiu-jitsu. Link right below. So. Okay, so we talked about what the show is. We know that it's a high budget docudrama leading up to the fight, you know, covering the 4 fighters. Now you could easily say, okay, well they could have made Robert Guerrero since an hour long, and you know HBO 24/7 or All Access is usually about a half an hour. They could have made one episode Robert Guerrero, Keith Thurman, and another episode Adrien Broner versus John Molina. But I can understand now, a lot of people may say, oh, it was corny, this or that. Now, this is the premiere episode, so therefore they got to get all the other stuff out of the way. And it's basically what's called a pilot. Now, I'm not saying now, of course, there's going to be more corner to corners, but what I'm saying is that I didn't really expect for it to be no craziness, nor do I expect or want it to be craziness. But at the same time, for them to have a time slot right now on the East Coast coming on at about 11 p.m., I'm guessing that, for example, a guy like Adrien Broner, I'm guessing that he'll get his own corner to corner one day. You know, it'll be PBC on NBC, Adrien Broner versus such and such. And then you'll start seeing more of the character of Adrien Broner. Now, you know, these cameras are following these guys around, you know, everywhere they go, especially leading up to the fight, you know, for the corner to corner. So you have to think that, they're catching all this different footage. And we know that they have to edit it and make it good for TV. So, you know, just I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't expect everything to be HBO 24/7 or All Access. But overall, it was a good quality. It was good quality content. So I'm going to do like fight week predictions, you know, for Robert Guerrero versus Keith Thurman and Adrien Broner versus John Molina. But I have to say, you know, with all this PBC stuff going on, I have to say that It is good for boxing, despite what we may think of Al Haymon's matchmaking. I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. But we have to think like, well, what he's doing, and what he's doing for the sport of boxing. You have to think like, well, maybe he just wants Leo Santa Cruz to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux on NBC. And that's where my logic is right now a little bit, because I'm thinking like, well, I'm glad I ain't fully just turned cold on the man, because I really was getting close, because I was getting pissed off, because I'm sitting here thinking like, you got a guy like myself who covers so much boxing. So, I got to sit there and watch these matches, and I'm sitting there thinking like, he's got to have a plan. I'm like, he's just not doing this shit on purpose. I'm thinking like, he's got to have a plan. I'm like, God damn it on him, But now, doing so much research on the man, learning about SFX and, Live Nation, his connections with Eddie Murphy, and, like his, just overall, I can honestly say probably more than the average reporter would know about Al Haymon. I'm starting to see, like how he works in a bit, to whereas there is a bit of admiration for the man. But at the same time, it's like this, as long as you give me the fights I want to see. Now, I understand that Danny Garcia versus Lamont Peterson, I understand that Adonis Stevenson versus Saki Obiga, but I'm going to see how this plays out, So I'm asking everybody to do the same, but as I said, PBC on NBC. Oh, it aired on NBC Sports, so I'm guessing that's what it's going to be coming on. This is just one piece of the content, and overall, if I'm correct, PBC on NBC is supposed to feature 50 hours of content, and that's going to be, stuff like corner to corner, the fights, pregame shows, and anything, involving the fights, 50 hours of content on NBC and NBC Sports alone. And that's not talking about whatever deal he has with CBS and what they're going to be showing, So, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. RealCombatMedia.com, Be Real TV, T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Live.